Alright guys, welcome to Tips and Tricks, things I wish I knew before I started playing Hired Ops. This is going to be a sequential list of a few things that I didn't learn until way later into the game, probably way later than it should have been. Quality of life, gameplay mechanics that really would have saved my keister. Now, I've recorded this once already, and it sounded like I was somewhere in the middle of Sputnik out in space. That's because I had my microphone in the wrong place. But now, everything is copacetic, so let's get on with it. Something we'll do since we're sitting in the main menu is go over contracts. Now, if you click on contracts on the left-hand side, you will see that you have these three factions or reputations: Kiva Arms, Tactical IS, and Rustak. Now, all of these correspond with the contracts on the right side. Now, what you might find is if you're playing a particular class or wanting to level a particular class and you're choosing, for instance, I have a recon here and I want to choose only recon contracts. Now, occasionally you may find yourself with a contract that is either difficult to complete or you simply don't want to do it because it doesn't fit your playstyle. Now, if that's the case, you're basically stuck with it because these timers on the right side don't correspond to the time that these contracts will sit in the menu. They simply show you the amount of time that you have to complete the contract once you accept it. Now, if there's a contract that's being problematic and you want a new contract, it's actually really simple. All you've got to do is select that contract that you don't want. So, for example, this sniper contract, let's say I can't manage to kill 11 players. That is just beyond my skill base. So I'm going to accept this contract and then immediately click on this contract again and hit refuse. Now, I am going to take a reputation hit for that. As you can see, it just took away from my Rustak rep. But now I have accrued a new contract, something that might be more doable, more lucrative, so on and so forth. So that's some way that you can push past those barriers and plateaus with your contracts, get new ones, and continue to earn crates, reputation, money, and so on. So number two, I don't know why this should need explanation, but I guess some people just really don't sweat the small stuff. Now, as we're sitting in the main menu, we are obviously not in a group, and I can tell that because I have no icons in the bottom left corner, and if I bring up my group menu here, there's no one in my group, so I am queuing solo. For this purpose and the purpose of being the group leader, i.e. someone who invites the other members of the party, you are able to change your matchmaking settings. Now, the only situation that you won't be able to manipulate this is if you are in a party and not the leader. So now that I'm queuing solo or I'm the party leader, if you look up in the top left-hand corner, this looks suspiciously like one button. It just looks like start operation, big red button, really want to push it. However, if you look even closer, there's a small cog wheel in the top left-hand side. Now, I have a lot of complaints that people can't find games, the server ping is a problem, so on and so forth. But, if you click this little cogwheel within the button, be careful not to push the red, push the cogwheel. Voila, look at that, a server browser of sorts. Now, this isn't going to let you go and select specific servers, but it is going to let you fine-tune what data center you want to connect to. Now, you can see that I am able to connect to all these data centers: LA, Miami, Frankfurt. The only one that I cannot connect to is Sydney. Now, you might have more of these or less of these on your particular matchmaking options than I do. The reason I can't connect to Sydney is because I have exceeded the maximum ping allowed for that data center. Now, I may get on from time to time and be able to connect to Sydney. A lot of it has to do with your ISP, how it fluctuates, and your location to different data centers. Now, moving forward, you can select what game mode you want to play. You will see the maps appear and disappear as I select and unselect game modes, and that's because those game modes only correspond to that particular map. So, furthermore, here are the list of maps now in the game: Bay 5, Railway, Evacuation Station, Iran, Industrial, Thailand, and Lighthouse. Now, Bay 5, Evacuation, and Station are all deathmatch maps and not available in any other game type. Railway, Iran, Industrial Thailand, and Lighthouse, however, are available in Team Elimination and Tactical Conquest, with the exception of Lighthouse. That is the new map that was added with the update. It is only available in Tactical Conquest. Now, that should give you a good breakdown on how this functions, and this should allow you to at least do a little better job at connecting to a particular server. Now, again, a very common complaint is pings and server and so on. This is not a solve all, okay? You still might find yourself in an empty game, having to wait a few minutes for players to join. However, if you weren't aware this was here, you might have a incredibly more difficult problem finding a game and finding a ping that is stable for you. Okay, so here we are in the waiting room to a game. That way I can display with infinite amounts of money exactly what I want to communicate to you, and right now that is mines. So let me go into my buy menu and select the tree for my mines, and we're going to buy some up, and we're back. So now I have these mines in my inventory. You can see 4, 5, and 6 at the bottom of the screen show that mine icon. Now these can be laid by simply selecting the number and then left clicking, or since it's a throwable explosive, and this counts for anything that is a throwable explosive, you can just push G, which happens to be the same letter that grenade starts with. So that should be easy for you to keep in your noodle. Now, the reason that I have these mines out here is because beginner players, you will find, have a hard time determining exactly who these mines belong to. And if I've got to admit, I don't blame them. And that is because as these mines are displayed, this orange icon that appears on each of these mines is normally associated with enemy things, enemy devices, enemy players, so on. So what you'll find is a lot of beginner players will walk up to these, go, wow, that's an enemy mine, and bang, shoot it. Now, what essentially has happened there is you shot a friendly mine. So a mine that have benefited another player on your team or benefited the team as a whole is no longer there because you filled it full of bullets. Now, enemy mines will show up without an icon, okay? And that, I feel like, should make a lot of common sense. The game is not going to show you the placement of enemy mines. However, these mines are fitted with an icon, even though it's the wrong color, to show you where these mines are. Now, you will trigger these mines if you walk over them, regardless if they belong to your team or not. So simply by walking, we'll trigger these mines, even though I'm the one who planted them. So that is something to keep in mind. But if you see that orange icon above a mine, that means it belongs to your team, and for God's sakes, don't shoot it. Okay, just like the mines, this is another common issue, and that's friendly controlled drones. Now, I'm close enough to this drone at this point that the blue icon has appeared and I can identify this as a friendly drone. However, if I take a few steps in the other direction and turn back around, that blue icon is now gone. And if I engage this drone, you can see that I've gotten a hit marker. So that would explain why a lot of people, when they first start playing, will end up shooting their teammates' drones down. Now, there are a wide variety of drones. Some are more lethal as they get close to you than others, but the majority of drones will fly at a pretty good distance from you. The only way to tell friend from foe with these drones is either to look at your teammates and have awareness on what's going on and who's spawning drones, or just to get close enough to it to see this icon. But these, like the mines, are destroyable by your team and simply goes away. Furthermore, just like the mines, in the top right corner, the kill feed will show that that was an enemy drone, which in fact it was my own. So in order to identify friendly drones, make sure that you're getting close enough, or you're just doing your due diligence to ask. Okay, as you've seen in the previous clips, this is the PP19, which is a mid-tier recon submachine gun. Now, unique to this weapon and the AK that is unlocked by contract reputation, it has a quick mag. There are no extended magazine attachments in the game yet, and there are no quick magazine attachments in the game yet. So considering that, the fact that the Reputation AK and this recon submachine gun have this quick magazine attachment already on them makes them a pretty formidable weapon at this point. So you can see that on the side of my PP19, there's a magazine just kind of sticking out there. That's because it's in a clasp with the magazine that's inserted into the weapon. Now I'm going to show you the difference between reloads. Now if I fire a few shots here, this is going to be my quick mag reload. Conversely, this is the second reload now that the magazine has been used up. You can see a considerable difference in the time it takes to get that weapon back online. So with this weapon and the AK, you can see that a lot of people lose their gunfights in reload because a lot of the weapons have a long reload animation. So by utilizing these two weapons and the quick magazine attachments that are already coming on them by default, you might be able to slip in a few extra kills that you might have not otherwise gotten. Okay, so here we are in a live game of Tactical Conquest. This is going to be ongoing, so excuse the rapid gunfire as I try to talk over it. This game type might look familiar to you as it's featured in games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Now this features a series of capture points that as the game progresses, your team will try to capture, and as you hold more points, you gain more tickets and inevitably getting the win at the ticket cap. Now, when you initially spawn into the game, you will spawn, as you can see here in the top left, is my spawn point. Matter of fact, I didn't know for a very long time that as your team captures points, you can simply select the capture point and hit deploy. Voila, now I am in the spawn zone for that particular point. Now you're not going to spawn right on the point, but what you are going to spawn by is the resupply crate. So this is a good way to memorize where you're going to spawn by and where these crates are. And you know, while we're on the subject, this might be something you guys don't know. You can resupply from this crate, even if it's something you don't have yet. So I just bought this drone. It's not in my inventory. Hold F to interact. Bang, I have a drone now. You can do this with any equipment minus, I believe, spy or any of the class abilities similar to that. But as you can see, I resupplied from that crate, and I can do this as many times as I want. I can buy another sonar grenade, interact, and now I have the sonar grenade. All right, guys, I hope these helpful hints will lead you to victory. If that's not the case, then it's something that I might not be able to assist you with. But like I said, these are a series of things that I didn't know until well into my playtime of hired ops, specifically the spawn on captured points, the resupply on crates of equipment, and so on. So I hope this will assist you as you start out on your hired ops journey, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.